Alright, that's better. That's better. Okay. Restarting. Good afternoon, everyone. We have breaking news from Long Island just about an hour ago. Former Nassau County Executive Ed Mangano, there's a mistrial in his case regarding federal corruption charges. Once again, there is a mistrial in the Ed Mangano case, right? We have a mistrial. So I'm going to go as quick as possible because unfortunately I have to go around 4:30 to do stuff. But I'm going to read you a Newsday article because I think it'd be easier to go to Long Island's news source with regards to this this news. So let's just get rid of the image, minimize me, and I apologize if ooh, I did the wrong thing over there. Hang on. Yeah, OBS is having a problem, everyone. So please just stand by. Please just stand by, and we'll be all good. There we go. There we go. So, let's go right to it. I'm going to pause the video on here because that's what happens when you're doing two things at once. Alright, so the judge has declared a mistrial. So once again, the judge has declared a mistrial. Huh, that's odd. I'm not getting I'm getting the green light over here, but that's very odd. Let me just refresh my YouTube so that way if we have any live comments, I'll quickly read them as soon as I get over to them. But we are live. That's good. So, yeah, let me just make sure that you guys can hear me. My YouTube so that way if we have any... There we go. Now we're good. Okay. So there we go. I already made sure that mobile phone viewers can at least see this. This is from Newsday. So, yes. There is a mistrial. There is a new date to start from scratch and all over again, which is on June 28th. Alright, so federal corruption trial, former Nassau County Executive Ed Mangano and his wife Linda ended earlier this afternoon at 3:30 in a mistrial. U.S. District Judge Joan Azraq made the declaration after receiving a note from the foreman, juror number 2, that read, "I can no longer carry out my duties as a juror. I wish to be excused." This jury contained 7 women and 5 men, deliberated for 9 days, but failed to come to a consensus on the charges that Mr. Mangano faced, including federal program bribery, honest services wire fraud, and extortion. They also could not return a verdict on Linda Mangano's charges, which included obstruction of justice and making false statements to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So I don't want to see the family stuff. Joan Azraq scheduled a June 28th status conference to set a new trial. Defense attorneys had indicated that they believed the jurors to be under tremendous strain because the trial had stretched into a 12th week in central Iceland. So, in other words, because there's a mistrial, it's not over yet. This judge, Joan Azraq, is still going to keep pressuring a jury to get a proper verdict, and because here's a reason why. Back on Tuesday, a juror failed to report for duty and instead faxed a note from her doctor's office, as well as a note that gave insight into the deliberation process. She was dismissed and replaced with an alternate, and Azraq instructed the jury to begin anew in consideration of the charges against the Manganos. Mr. Mangano's attorney, Kevin Keating, who his office is located on 666 Old Country Road in Garden City, seized on the contracts of dismissed juror number 5's deliberation notes, which Azraq sealed, to argue for a mistrial, saying the environment in the jury room had become toxic based on jurors' descriptions of cursing and name-calling. Mr. Keating was joined in its motion by Linda Mangano's lawyer, John Carmen, who also has an office at 666 Old Country Road in Garden City, and the pair moved again for mistrial yesterday after jurors first reported of a deadlock. Joan Azraq rejected both requests for a mistrial before making Declaration 1 on earlier this afternoon. Prosecutors over the course of the trial, which began back on March 12th, and included 60 witnesses and more than 1,100 pieces of evidence, sought to make their case that Ed Mangano exploited his public position to steer a restaurateur, Andreas Sy, 2 lucrative county contracts and more than $20 million in business loans pledged to the town of Oyster Bay's creditworthiness. Prosecutors say the former Nassau County executive did so in exchange for an illegal stream of benefits that included free meals, free vacations, and a no-show job from his wife Linda that paid between $450,000 between April 2010 and April 2014. Earlier this afternoon, after juror number 2's note, which was not intentionally made to be available to Newsday or the public, prosecutors and defense attorneys immediately met with Joan Azrek for a private discussion. Then, Ed and Linda and their lawyers gathered behind closed doors. Earlier this morning, jurors had asked to review the testimony of an FBI agent who analyzed the defendant's phone records. Yeah, and also I just want to quickly mention that last Thursday, the previous jury acquitted the former town of Oyster Bay supervisor, John Venditto. So he's off the hook. He's definitely off the hook. We'll just quickly try to go here. Yeah, here we go. 1 week ago, back on Thursday, jurors acquitted Venditto of the 27 corruption-related counts that he had faced. Okay, Ed faced 7 counts that stem back from October 2016 that included charges of federal program bribery, honest services, wire fraud, extortions, and conspiracy to obstruct justice. His wife, Linda, had been charged with 5 counts that included conspiracy to obstruct justice, same with Ed, and making false statements to the FBI. Hi. Hang on! Sorry about that, folks. That's my dad in the background. I'm just going to quickly give my final thoughts regarding this. Hang on. My bad, everyone. Because, again, OBS is being a pain in the butt today. My goodness. Alright, so in conclusion, my final thoughts are this. It's not over yet. As I said earlier, June 28th, there's going to be a press conference from the judge who was involved in this case from the start. There's going to be a brand new jury. Ed and Linda are not completely off the hook yet. So this is at least good that maybe both of them are going to jail. I can understand why people are upset that John Venditto didn't go to jail. I get that whole thing, but to be honest, Ed really screwed Nassau County, and he needs to face the consequences. And more importantly, and I'm gonna say this now because I realize this, Ed should have been charged from the state of New York for theft of service for not paying the MTA to keep funding Long Island Bus. That should be a legal charge. Again, that's a whole nother story for another time, but at least the good news is all the people, including me, who want to see Mr. Mangano go to jail, looks like this will linger on, unfortunately, into the summer. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on this, and that's all the information I can give to you right now. So I'm going to get going. I've pretty much given out the information that I need to give you all regarding this breaking news that Ed Mangano's trial is officially on hold for now until at least July. So that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching.